Welcome to Fantasy Victory Now with Paul Charchi, and I'm Mike Durkin. And Charch, Percy Harvin traded to the Jets. That caught me off guard.
Yeah, it caught everybody off guard. We should probably look at it from two sides. We've already got a little bit of an early indication from Sunday's games about what to expect. Let's start with the Seattle side, where it clearly raises the value of Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse, who now get that many more balls thrown to them. I mean, nobody really fills that role. It's just less attempts that would have gone, less targets that would have gone to Percy Harvin. So you figure that Baldwin, who had a good game on Sunday, and Kearse end up getting a little bit more run. On the Jets side, I got to believe Percy's going to have a high impact and pretty soon. They need his skill set desperately. They want to validate the trade. There's nobody that's really does anything like what Percy Harvin does on the Jets or even in the whole league. So I think they'll find ways to get him the ball in time, no less than he was getting the ball in Seattle, where Percy wasn't getting the ball much in Seattle. He was on the field less than 60% of the plays. So you figure, even though it's a Geno Smith-led offense, which is never good, Percy will end up getting at least as much usage and maybe even becomes a more viable fantasy starter, because in Seattle, he just wasn't getting it done.
No, yeah, so maybe a little more relevance there. Another Sunday surprise, Kirk Cousins benched at halftime, and it's the return of Colt McCoy now in Washington.
It is. It's Colt McCoy, at least for the time being, but RG3's return is looming, and they've already said he's going to be the guy that's going to be used going forward. Cousins just made too many mistakes, and RG3, for whatever it's worth, not typically a big mistake-prone guy. He only had 4 interceptions his entire rookie year, hadn't thrown one this year prior to his injury. So I think from a safety sake, they go back to him. From a fantasy standpoint, I think you could have some interest in picking up RG3 this week and then just stashing him and see what happens. He's got talent around him, right? So he's got Deshaun Jackson. That's great. He's got Pierre Garçon's very good. Jordan Reed's very good. A decent running game behind him to offer some threat. So, yeah, I'd like to think that Griffin's got some upside, and in a bigger league, if you want to stash him for a couple of weeks until he comes back, I think RG3 makes sense. The rest of the guys, I don't want any part of, Mike.
So, yeah, that instability, some music to the ears of long-term RG3 owners.
Yeah, for sure.
And some relevance, again, for Percy Harvin and some new opportunities for the guys in Seattle. Hey, if you don't already have it, download the Fantasy Victory app on iTunes and Google Play. Why don't you get it? We put great stuff out there all week and on Sundays especially.
And you get notification when whenever we make updates to the site, you get notifications on your phone, assuming you enable the notifications, so that you know when quarterback rankings have been posted. You know when we update our rankings on Sunday morning. So those things are really, really nice to have those alerts on your phone as well.
And always check the rankings at fantasyvictory.com leading right up to kickoff on Sunday.